Hello everyone, it continues with the video about the atrocities of the colonial powers. In the episode we will talk about some of the cruelest violence that was used in the colonies. This video is a continuation of the series Why the Hatred Against the West. Like, comment and share the video, especially do not forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss the follow-up episodes and more instructive videos. When the West colonized the Southern Hemisphere, it did so in an extremely cruel way. Anyone who stood in the way of the European states in the process was annihilated. This can be seen, for example, in the long list of French conquests. In 1830, for example, France began to conquer Algeria. It was the prelude to a worldwide campaign of conquest that would take the French colonial power as far as Somalia, Vietnam, and Cambodia. One man in particular was responsible for the conquest of Algeria, the future Marshal of France, Thomas Robert Bugeaud. As Governor General, Bugeaud was known for a technique called enfumades, or fumigation. In this perfidious maneuver, soldiers herded local villagers into caves and then set the entrances ablaze. Now they waited with bread and schnapps until all the inhabitants had suffocated, and then simply bricked up the caves. The English were also extremely inhumane in their conquests. For example, in Tasmania, which was very attractive to European settlers because of its fertile soil and pleasant climate. But the natives, called Palawa, who had lived in Tasmania for thousands of years, did not want to give way to them. So the English soldiers initially proceeded as they had in Australia. They burned villages, poisoned the wells, and destroyed the fields. But the Palawa resisted and attacked again and again with swords and arrows. In 1830, Governor George Arthur therefore devised a new tactic, the so-called Black Line. To this end, he deployed several thousand armed men in a front 120 kilometers long. As in a drive hunt, they then let loose their dogs and advanced relentlessly, shooting at anything that moved. In just 6 weeks, they thus almost completely wiped out the Palawa in Tasmania. Arthur justified his cruel actions with open racism. The Palawa were nothing but black savages who had to be exterminated. Anyone who assumes that such statements would have damaged his reputation is mistaken. When Arthur returned to England in March 1837, Queen Victoria knighted him. The European conquerors committed unimaginable atrocities. Nevertheless, one wonders why so much hatred is directed at the West today, centuries later. We will address this question in the next video.